And feet down on the mat, knees bent. And you want to kind of have your posture so you're right on like the little edges of your sit bones. So you should feel your sit bones down into the floor here. And then reach your arms parallel to the floor. And inhale, arms come up. And when you reach the arms up, you want to feel your back extensors fire up a little bit. And exhale, arms down. And inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, arms down parallel to the floor. And let's do it again. Inhale, arms up and down. And we'll just move with our breath 5 more times. Inhale and exhale. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, and then from here, let's see. Let me have you stay seated pretty tall here, but bring your hands so that you're hugging the backs of your legs, your hamstrings, and then just reach the right leg up. And if you feel like you have to shift your weight back to reach the right leg up, that's fine. Right leg down, left leg up. It's basically, keep alternating here, a very small stretch to the back side of your legs. So for most of us, pretty small. And let's just keep going here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And arms reach parallel to the floor again. This time you're going to pull your belly in tightly, and as you pull your belly in tightly, you kind of feel it push right out here in the low back. And lower down, tap the low back on the mat. You can keep holding on if you need to, and come back up. So if you feel like you can't quite come back up, you want to grab onto your legs and help yourself come up. Lower down, tap the low back on the mat, come back up just one more time, lower down, tap the low back on the mat, come back up, and now lower all the way down. And you are lying down in a supine position, and we're preparing for bridge pose. So what you're going to do is, I think we did this 2 weeks ago in this class, or no, actually we did it both weeks. It's one of my favorite Pilates exercises, so I tend to show it to people a lot. So you have a little bit of space between your low back and the mat, your rib cage is pulled in, your arms are along your sides. And what you're going to do is take your pubic bone, pull it up to your belly button so that the low back flattens onto the mat, and then peel your spine up one bone at a time. So you come into a bridge pose, but the difference between this bridge pose and a bridge pose that you would do in yoga is that your chest is not poofed. So keep the rib cage pulled in, and then lower back down, one bone at a time. And at the very end, the tailbone is heavy, and the pelvis returns to that neutral position, the same position that you started. So you're going to flatten the low back onto the mat, peel the hips up, peel the back up one bone at a time. Once you're up here at the top, the knees reach forward, the heels pull back. And so take a second and feel that sensation as you're reaching the knees forward and pulling the heels back. And you should feel a lot of engagement through the glutes and the hamstrings. And then lower back down one bone at a time. So let's pick up the pace, and we'll do 5 more here. And down. And 4. Keep pushing the shoulder blades down into the mat. And down. And 3. And down. And 2. And down. Keep pulling the legs in toward each other as well. And 1. And this time you're going to come up on this last one, and I want you to hold it up. So press the shoulder blades down into the mat, push the heels and the feet down into the mat, lift the butt up with the glutes and the hamstrings, and then you're going to lower about halfway down and up for 10, 9, lower halfway down and lift up, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And lower all the way down one bone at a time. And we're going to do this one more time. So I just wanted you to have a second to regroup. Come on back up. And this time, walk your feet in but just a tiny bit toward you, like half of the length of your foot. So you're on your tippy toes, your heels are up very, very high, you're on your tippy toes, and then drop the right heel down and look at your pelvis. So we're going to kind of pull in a little bit of that work we did from last week. So you're alternating your legs like you were jogging in place or walking in place. And you're trying to keep the pelvis steady. So look at your hip bones as you do this. And let's do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both heels up. And then lower the back all the way down, one bone at a time. And regroup by swinging your legs from side to side a couple of times just to relax the back and the legs. Okay, from here, you have two options here. You can either keep your feet flat on the mat, or you can take your legs to a tabletop position. So tabletop position is 90 degrees at the hip flexors, 90 degrees at the knees. Either of them is fine. If you have tight hip flexors, I suggest just leaving your feet flat down on the mat. Otherwise, the tabletop is a little bit more challenging. So it's up to you, but just be careful about your hip flexors. Now, when we are in this position starting, your back is in neutral. So that means you should be able to fit your little fingertips right underneath the waistline. And interlace your hands behind your head. The elbows are wide. Head and shoulders float up off the mat. And then let's just play with the position of the pelvis a little bit here. So tilt your pelvis so that the low back flattens onto the mat. And then tilt your pelvis again so you're back in that neutral position. And then lower down. And we'll do that a couple more times. So come on up. Flatten the low back to the mat. Feel the low abs engage. Drop the tailbone heavy. Release the so you're back in that neutral position. And then lower down. And again, come on up. Flatten the low back. Release. And lower down. And come on up. Flatten the low back. Release back to neutral. And lower down. And then we'll pick up the pace, hold neutral, and we're just going to do 5 more. Here, elbows reach in opposite directions. Forward. And that's an important cue. 3, exhale up, inhale down. 2, look at the pelvis. 1 more time, come up and hold it up. And now we're going to crisscross. So reach the left armpit to the right side. And just look at your right waistline right now. Look at the little wrinkles along your shirt. If it's all wrinkled up, that's indicating that you're squeezing just where you're supposed to. Pass to the middle. Don't rest your head. Go to the other side. And let's pause here for a second again. Feel the rotation. And look at the shirt. See if you're getting any wrinkles in it. Inhale through the middle. You're back to the center. Left armpit reaches. And remember, you're reaching with the armpit to deepen the twist, not the elbow. To the middle and change. To the middle and change. To the middle and change. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And lower down. And now put your feet down. So the knees are still pointing up. Your arms are along your sides. Reach your arms down toward the short edge of your mat. Head and shoulders come up off the mat. You're going to look at your pelvis and you keep reaching your hands to the short edge of your mat. And then it's just a little swivel here. So swivel over to the right, reach the right hand toward the right foot and shorten the right side. And then come to the middle and reach the left hand toward the left foot and shorten the left side. So you're just swiveling. Now let's do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then go ahead and lower yourself down.